All right, welcome to the first ever episode of the Value Creator Podcast. And the reason we're doing this podcast is, first of all, because it's way easier to create content this way than like sitting down and filming a talking head video. But second is because it's I have a full-time creative director now. So this is Clay. Clay's from he worked at a church for like 5 years, something like that.
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Grew up a missionary in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Moved to Washington. I live in Washington, which is why we're working together. So he's my full-time creative director. Now we're taking content real seriously. And so we're going to start a podcast where we kind of just break down hot topics or whatever in the coaching, consulting, agency space. Yeah. And really easy to create content this way and get those clips. So we're just going to roll right into it. What are we talking about? I forget.
Yeah, I thought today, it's the first one. It might be good to just set a framework of the whole online marketing, business space.
Let's do it, bro.
Are there categories or what are the levels or options if you want to make money online in the marketing space? What does that look like?
Yeah, dude. It's one of my favorite things to talk about because I feel like all everybody talks about is when you're getting into online business as an agency, and then eventually when you're in online business, it's coaching, consulting, or software companies, and then people just get so jumbled up in their head, dude, I don't know where to start. There's all these different options. So, and I'll break down my personal opinion of what I think the best business model is if you're a marketer, marketers meaning coaches, consultants, agencies, those type of people. If that's the space you're in, what is the best business model for where you're currently at? But first, I got to explain what they are. And there's so many new ones popping up. You guys hear about growth partners and growth consultants and growth who knows what. There's all these different models that pop up out of nowhere that people seem to just make up, and they just make up their own fancy name for it. But the reality is that the fundamentals are always the same. So really what they all are, and I have my own fancy name, Value Creator, but I'm not pushing that as a name. That's more just our company name. But what they all are transformations for a client. At the end of the day, whether you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, growth partner, or a whatever the heck else, at the end of the day, you're working with clients and you're taking a client from point A to point B, and hopefully point A, they're fat, broken, ugly, and point B, they're pretty sexy and rich, right? That's the goal. And that's, an oversimplification, but that is the goal of any business. Whether you're a marketing agency working with a $50 million software company running ads for them, their goal when they pay you is to make more money and to make more money, right? And so a coach, typically it's either get in better shape, have a better marriage, or make more money, right? So you're giving a transformation one way or another. But when you're starting out, there's 3 ways you can go. The most common way is to start an agency, because anybody can go pick up the skills on how to start an agency and literally go sign clients the next week. It takes 1 week of 80 hours, go learn a bunch of stuff, go take the course, go do all of it. Next week, go sign up your first client. That's exactly what I did. I bought a course. I think I bought Imran Gadzi's course, and 16 days later, I was making $10,000 a month. You just consume the information, you go implement. That's how simple it is to start an agency. Obviously, it's not easy, which I made it sound really easy. It's not easy.
Simple, but not easy.
Yes, yeah. Simple, but not easy. Takes a lot of work. But that's what most people do. The other 2 options are if you have skills. So that would be you acquiring skills in sales, marketing, so you can go implement those skills for somebody. But the other 2 options would be if you have skills in relationships or if you have skills in health and fitness, right? Which some people do, but you still need to learn sales and marketing even if you do that. So for example, I work with a pastor as a client of mine, and he has a coaching offer helping people that are about to get divorced, and he coaches them off the brink of divorce. And he charges $6,000 to do that or whatever, because it's a massive problem that he's solving. It's saving someone's marriage. And so that would be an example of someone that didn't learn all the marketing stuff before, but he already has skills in the relationships category, because there's health, wealth, relationships. Just go start a coaching program around that. And obviously we all know what a fitness coach is. We don't need to be reminded. And then the route that I would say 80 to 90% of people take is the agency route, learning to become a marketer. And so that's where most people start. Those 3 categories. But again, most people listening are probably falling in the agency category. So that's how you start.
Yeah. How do you know which one is right for you at different stages, or how do you know how to progress once you've learned the skills. Maybe you've started an agency and you want to do something else, you're getting burnt out or whatever that might be.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I created Value Creator, was because I myself started an agency, The Dream. I made $50,000 or $60,000 a month, and I took home maybe at the end of the day, and after taxes and everything, maybe 15 to 20K a month in profit, which is not bad money. But when you have to reinvest back in the business, do paid ads, you have a massive team, like profit margins are low. You feel like you have a bunch of bosses instead of clients. And you're like, I started this business because I wanted to make money and have freedom, not because I wanted to have like 25 different bosses when I could just go get a job and have one. Yeah. And so there is a stage where you either have to become really good at system building and team building in an agency, which isn't my favorite model, or you pivot to a more scalable model, which are the other ones that a lot of people talk about, coaching and consulting. Yeah. So if you take, let's say you're running like, what's an example of like an agency you could think, like a med spa agency, right? I'm running and I'm doing paid ads for med spas. Or like one of the most common ones is like running ads for coaches or consultants or chiropractors, right? I would take my offer, which is doing done for you paid ads. I'm doing the paid ads, I'm building the funnels for them, I'm running their ads for them, I'm logged into their ad accounts for them, and I'm doing it all for them. I set up the email, the SMS, and it's a ton of work, and it's a ton of system building, which isn't as scalable. Yeah. Right? Because you're actually literally doing things for clients. It's like the definition of that is it's not as scalable. And I think most people when they're starting out and they're trying to scale past $50,000 a month with an agency, they don't have the team and leadership skills to do that. And so at least the route that I went, that I absolutely am so glad, I think it's one of the best decisions I ever made, was to pivot to consulting and coaching, a more done with you, where I think clients actually get better results than you doing it for them. It's like teaching someone to fish instead of fishing for them, right? Yeah. They can go fish for the rest of their lives. And so that's what I pivoted to, was a coaching offer, right? So I had an agency, and then I transitioned. I said, okay, instead of running my agency, what if I showed other agency owners how to scale a content agency? Because I had a content agency. Then after coaching other agency owners on how to scale their agency, I started coaching coaches on how to scale their coaching offer. Yeah. But now it's really helping agency owners pivot to a more scalable, done with you model. Yeah. So what was your question? Like, how do you know when?
How do you know when to progress to that next thing? And I guess I would add on to that, like when you pivoted, so you probably had these clients in your agency. How did you find all these new clients that were agency owners to even be able to like launch a coaching offer?
Yeah. Well, when you pivot, it's like a lot of people think client acquisition is like the hard part in business, and like, getting more clients is always going to be the hard thing. Yeah. And it is in the beginning. Like getting clients is like quote unquote hard in the beginning. Like you really just don't know what you're doing, and that's why it's hard. Mm-hmm. You don't have a solid offer. You don't have solid messaging. You don't know how to run ads correctly, like all that stuff, which takes time. But eventually, client acquisition actually isn't the hard part. So when I pivoted from my agency, where what I was really good at is getting clients, and what I was really bad at was building systems and a team and leading a team. When I pivoted, I didn't really need to have a team. I could just like scale a coaching offer because it's mostly information based instead of service based. And so when I was looking to sign up clients, like that part to me was easy. I have like a system, like a client acquisition system using Instagram. I call it the social funnel system that I use to acquire clients, and it works really well. That's what I teach all my clients to do. And so that's what I just use the same system I use in my agency to sign up clients for my coaching offer. And so the client acquisition part actually wasn't hard. It was trying to, it was first of all, like I knew eventually I needed to learn to build systems and to lead a team, but I didn't enjoy the business model of an agency. And so even if I built systems and led a team in my agency, I still don't think I would have stuck with that business model long-term, because I don't believe in it as much as a coaching offer. Like me going and changing someone's life and saying, hey, I'm going to help you go from like $5K a month, just paying rent and getting by, to show you how to make like $30,000 or $40,000 a month. Like that changes someone's life significantly more than in my agency helping someone go from like $150,000 a month to $200,000.
But right. They're a business or
whatever. Yeah. And they already are. Yeah. It's like I can make such a bigger impact with coaching and consulting than I can with my agency doing things for people. Not to say that agencies are like bad at all. And I think that a lot of them do make a great impact. But for me and my personality type, I loved the coaching consulting model. And so if I'm going to learn the skills that I don't want to learn, which is like building a team and building systems, then I would rather do it in a business model that I love, which is what I'm learning now because we have like 9 team members at Value Creator. That's what I'm learning now is like how to build systems and build a team and like lead a team. But it was hard to, or it wasn't hard to make that transition from agency to coaching. Like I think I shut down my agency in like, I don't know, like June, I think, of this year. And then I started the coaching like literally right before I got married, which my wife was like freaking out. She's like, you shut down your $50,000 a month business to go on coaching. And I was like, yeah, because acquiring clients is going to be the easy part. It's like scaling, which is hard. Like the same amount of effort you put into an agency, if you put that same amount of effort into like a consulting or coaching offer, you'll get twice the profit, which is why I love the model so much. The same amount of effort and double the output, which is always what you're looking for, more leverage, which is that's what you have with the coaching and consulting offer is more leverage. In my agency with the systems we had, I can only handle 25 clients. In my consulting business, I could handle 50 clients with the same. And when you're pivoting from agency to coaching or consulting, you have like 2 options. You can either coach, consult other agency owners. Like if you're in a chiropractic agency, you can go show other chiropractic agency owners how to scale or other local lead gen agencies how to scale. Or you literally take the offer you had for chiropractors and you change that offer, which is done for you, to a done with you offer. That's what I would say. I would honestly suggest more people to do because the coaching agency owners and coaching coaches market is so saturated now. But I have people like Peter, one of my clients, that had a done for you offer to our agency for tax advisors, pivoted to a consulting offer for tax advisors, and he finally hit his first $30,000 a month with the same amount of input, less service delivery, but now he has twice the profit. Right. So same thing with like Jordan, med spa agency owner, didn't decide to coach agency owners, but instead decided to just consult / coach med spas instead of running ads for them. And all of a sudden literally doubled his profit in like 45 days. Why? Because the model is more scalable. You don't need a team. And his clients get better results. So that's why I love the model.
So, but if the space is saturated, do you think that there can be like too many coaches? Or do you think each person has their own individual things that make them right for their clients?
Well, I think if you want to enter any niche, you have to have like your unique selling proposition. Like what makes you different from everybody else. And if you're an agency owner pivoting to coaching, first of all, you're probably like every niche is saturated. Like it's 2024 now almost. Every niche is going to be saturated. Coaching agency owners, coaching chiropractors, coaching tax advisors. It's all going to be, they're all getting hit with 10,000 ads a day on their Instagram, right? So they're all saturated. So what's it going to come down to? It's going to come down to your unique selling proposition. And so it doesn't really matter what niche you pivot to. I love pivoting agency owners to working with the same type of client, the same avatar, and just changing their model. That's one of my favorite things to do. And getting clients to come to you rather than like cold email, cold DM, and going to them. That's like my bread and butter is helping people do that. Now there's plenty of people that want to like run agencies and then go coach agency owners. But if you're going to do that, you have to find what is my like unique lane through this? What's going to make me stand out from literally the 10,000 other SMMA coaches in existence? And so obviously you can have a personal brand where people get to know, like, and trust you and like get to know your unique, personality traits and who you are. And like they connect with that. They connect with your story, and you'll get to 10, 20, 30,000 a month coaching agency owners with no unique selling proposition besides your story. For sure you can do that. But I do like to have some sort of unique lane that makes the model or the mechanism that you use for agency owners unique. And so like, I'll give you an example. Julian Corzo, one of my clients, he's been working with me for a long time now. He's absolutely crushing it. He's doing like 20K a month now with his coaching offer and like 10 or 20K a month with his agency. He had a content agency working with real estate investors. And he was like, I don't really want to consult or coach real estate investors. So he started to coach agency owners, specifically content agency owners. And so he took the model he took the niche of content agency owners, which is like 1 million people coach agency owners. And he went more niche, like kind of like a sub niche of content agency owners, not just all agency owners. And he had his unique selling proposition was like to add conversion mechanisms to the content agencies, because most content agencies edit videos for people and then they just say, here's your edited video. It's $1,000 a month. Yeah. And the clients are like, great, but I wanted to make more money, but I paid you money. Yeah. Right? That's what any client wants when they work with a marketing agency. They pay you money, they want more money back. Mm-hmm. And so he said, okay, what if we edit the videos for you, but we also show you how to take the audience we build and convert them into actual paying clients? And so he added like the conversion mechanisms, and now he shows other content agencies how to have those conversion mechanisms. Yeah. And so like that's his unique selling proposition. But that's just an example of like, doesn't matter what niche you're in, you need to have a unique selling proposition that makes you stand out, because everything is saturated.
Yeah.
So
well, that's a good example of like him coaching from his experience as well, like what worked for him. Is that something that you've noticed because it is saturated and people think they can just hop on and like run ads towards something, and maybe they have a coaching offer that they don't even know or don't have experience in? Like, do you feel like it's important to coach something that you know or that you've been through?
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible to coach something that you haven't personally done yourself. Yeah. And you have a repeatable process to get someone else the same result. Yeah. And I think a lot of people enter consulting and coaching without like mad skills on what they're coaching on. Like one of the first modules that I have like in the course that we have is in our program is like almost just like straight up like, if you don't have mad skills, like you're not really, really good at what you do not coach other people on it. Like you have to be really good at what you do, because people are paying you for information and they're not paying you for like a service, and you don't have the right information, like perfectly crafted with a perfect roadmap that your clients can follow step by step, then instead of just selling information, sell information plus a service aspect. Yeah. So you can at least like kind of supplement the fact that you don't have all the correct information, or maybe you don't have it laid out correctly, or you don't have a repeatable process yet. Like maybe you've done the thing that you're trying to coach on before, but you don't have a repeatable process to get someone else that same result yet. Yeah. Then give them the information necessary, but also help them do it. Like literally add a service aspect to your offer until you feel like you have a repeatable process, you've gotten client results. Then you can just pivot to just having an information-based offer, like a coaching offer, a consulting offer. Yeah. So
what would be an example of a repeatable process? Like how can someone identify like, oh, okay, this wasn't just luck?
I'll give you an example of my agency. In my agency, we acquired like 60 clients. At the end, we had 30, so you can see retention was not our forte in my agency. But that's also kind of how most agencies go. They have like 2 or 3 months of retention with most clients, and then the client leaves, which is also why the agency model kind of sucks a little bit, because the average retention is so low. But I had a process to get clients consistently. That part to me was easy. Yeah. And so I basically took that process, and I still didn't have it I didn't have it step by step. I was kind of just doing it without knowing it was a step by step. And so what I did was I said, okay, I acquired 60 agency clients. And then at the end, we had more of a placement offer, which I'll get to in a second, where we actually got up to like close to 100 clients acquired. But let's say I got 60 clients, right? I went back in my Stripe and I looked at, all right, here's all 60 customers. How did I get every single one? And then I was like, man, this is going to take forever to figure out, but I got to do it. So I went back, I looked at like the Calendly forms, I looked at like where they came from, looked at the UTM source, like where do these people come from and how did I get them? And almost all of the clients came directly from my TikTok or Instagram. Okay. From the short form content I posted. Yeah. They almost all of them had watched long form YouTube content of me explaining about my agency, what we do, that kind of thing, almost like a VSL, but they watched some other content and then they signed up, right? And the short form content, so basically the concept I saw, the repeatable process I saw was they watched something short that got them interested. Then they watched something longer where they started to actually trust me to book in a call. Yeah. They booked in a call, and then they maybe watched a training before the call, They showed up to the call and then I sold them. I was like, okay, this to me seems like, okay, this is kind of just like what I do. Like this makes sense. But if I was going to teach this to someone else, it would have to be in like a process. And so then I made that a process. Okay, how do you get short form? How do you get consistent, predictable attention on short form? Well, you make short form content and then you run profile visit ads to that content. Okay. Then how do I get those people to watch my long form? Well, I run retargeting ads towards the audience I just built with my long form content being the asset I run that retargeting ad toward. Then I also promote my YouTube content everywhere so that people go from the short form, go watch my long form. Then once they watch the long form, there's a call to action to go book a call. And then once they book a call, they watch the training. And so I made that a process that I called the social funnel system. Yeah. And so after I built out that roadmap process, whatever you want to call it, then I went and started coaching other agency owners on it. Got like 3 or 4 people that had success with it, testimonials. And that allowed me to sell more coaching programs, get more data from more people and to see like, okay, this actually does work really well. Yeah. And then that was kind of like my beta launch of the coaching offer, which we did like 20 or 30K a month with. And then eventually I was like, all right, this is it. We launched Value Creator and now we do like over 100,000 a month with that same process. And obviously it's been like refined over and over, but the concept's the same. So
if someone thinks it's just content or it's just sales, there's all these other like steps along the way that you have to,
Yeah. Well, it's like there's marketing, there's sales, there's onboarding, there's client success, right? So there's different parts to it. But the key part that I teach, and I teach, all of it, like we teach how to deliver the service and all that stuff. But the main part that people like come to us for is like, what's the repeatable client acquisition process? Yeah. And it's not complicated. It's simple. But if you mess up one part, then the whole thing can be messed up. Yeah. Right. So like I get on coaching calls sometimes with people that don't listen to everything that we have, which is fine. But if they did, they get better results. But like I'll get on a coaching call and like lay out the whole process, right? Because we have like this map of like, here's the whole process. Everybody uses the same one. All of our clients use the same one. And so I have them plug in their numbers into the process to each step. And then I can see, okay, looks like you spent this much on ads. You got this many profile visits. You got this many followers. You sent this many DMs. You booked in this many calls. And then we label like green, yellow, red. Which of those metrics are green? Good to go. Great metrics. Which ones are yellow? They're kind of like, okay, these could definitely be improved. Or red, this is like the most urgent, and like if you fix this now, you'll automatically double your business. Yeah. Like if you just fix this one red thing. And that's what we lay out like on every coaching call is all those KPIs, all those numbers, and we just fix them. Like we just, here's a simple fix. Yeah. And like having someone, this is what I had in my coach was like just having someone to like look from an outside perspective at your business and be like, okay, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. When you're so your business, you're so close to it all the time. You don't see how clear it is. Yeah. And like I had a coaching call this morning with a client who spent $980 on ads and he contracted $45,000 in revenue. And I showed those KPIs to him and he's like, dude, something just doesn't feel right. And like it's just not growing as fast as I want to. And I was like, dude, how many times would you turn $980 into $44,000? And he was like, well, shit, when you put it that way, I do that a few times. And I was like, so 10x your ad spend next month and you'll probably at least 5x your business. Yeah. And he was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And almost every time that happens, they make more money. Yeah. So it's stuff like that I think like when you have to have the full system. It's not just content. It's not just YouTube. It's not just sales. It's all of it.
Are there any other models or like titles that we didn't address that you could jump into in this space?
So there's 2 more. One of them I don't like as much. Yeah. One of them I think is good. Well, depends. Mm-hmm. So one of the popular models right now that's been around for a long time. It's kind of just like building in-house systems for people. Mm-hmm. So like an agency, typically you have a business that works with an agency. The agency does something for them. Mm-hmm. And if it goes well, great. Then the agency is now sort of a slave, or the business is now sort of a slave to that agency because without the agency, they don't know how to get results. They don't know how to market. And if it goes poorly, well, then they cancel their subscription with the agency and they're on their way. They're back to where they started, right? Those are the two options when you work with an agency. But the other model would be to build like an in-house team for a business, so that you say, hey, instead of teaching you how to fish, instead of fishing for you or teaching you how to fish, I'm gonna train your team how to fish and then place them in your business so they can fish for you all day long, but they work for you. Like, that's a great model that I like a lot. It's sort of like a in between an agency and a coaching offer. It's more of like a placement offer, right? You're placing talent and systems into a business. And so that's one model. It's more like a consulting model. People are calling it a build and release offer. I love the model. I used it in my agency. We would place editors for $5,000 in people's businesses, and we place the content systems, and then I would consult them on how to convert the audience they build. I think it's a great model. There's 3 parts to it. There's the actual talent you place in the business. There's the systems. Like, let's say it's a content offer. You're placing an editor. Okay, well, they probably don't want to manage that editor like crazy all day long. So what are the systems you give them to manage the editor? Or maybe you train one of their team members to manage the editor. So the owner, the CEO isn't. And then third, I typically like consulting on the conversion mechanism. So like if you're running paid ads or if you're doing content, you're getting the business more attention, but how do they convert that attention? Well, instead of doing it for them and converting it for them, what if you just consult them on how to convert it? So that's like one model. It's like kind of like a build and release offer. And then the other model being pushed right now is the growth partner model, where you find someone who's already running a business and you take a percentage, 10, 20, 30% of their business of revenue or profit, and you kind of like, you literally are like a growth partner. You're partnered with them as they grow. Like, that's the definition of a growth partner. I personally don't like the model that much because I'm a big fan of simplicity. And I think when you have like 4 or 5 clients that you're growth partners with, first of all, it's a ton of risk because you have only 5 clients. And even though each one pays you maybe $10,000 a month, it's going to be really, if that client leaves, 10% of your business gone, right? So there's a ton of risk, which I don't like. And second, what company already making great money is going to give a new marketer 10 or 20% of their business? If I'm doing $100,000 a month, there's no way in hell I'm giving away 20% of my business. I can't think of a single person right now, maybe one, that I would give 20% of my business to as a growth partner, just because they're going to do marketing for me. And so typically with the growth partner model, you're finding people that are like, they're experts in their field, and you're going to partner with them to launch a coaching offer. But now it's up to you to be really good at launching a coaching offer. And if you're really good, why not just launch your own coaching offer? And so that's my opinion on the model. I don't think there's like, I have a couple partnerships that I do with people that have worked for me before and they launched their own offer, but that's pretty much the only situation I do that. Because otherwise there's just so much trust that needs to be built when you take a percentage of someone's company. So that's my opinion on the growth partner model. But you've got agency, you've got coach, you've got consultant, you've got consultant that kind of like places people in businesses, and then you've got like a partnership model. Now, my opinion, my personal opinion, the progressions you go through, start with an agency, get really good at a skill, make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month or more if you love systems, up to $100,000, $200,000 a month. Then pivot to a more scalable model, consulting, coaching. You can even keep your agency in the background and have it as like a higher ticket offer. Consulting, coaching offer, scale the crap out of your coaching or consulting offer. Start with one-on-one coaching. That way you know you can get client results. After you've gotten client results, pivot to a more scalable coaching offer, which is more like a group coaching offer. Make sure you actually have a system that gets client results that doesn't need to involve you. Client comes in, they can get results whether you're there or not. Like if I died off the face of the planet, would my clients still get results? Launch your group offer when that's true. And then scale the absolute crap at it, right? Most people, they like scale something and then they're like, let me go launch this or launch this, launch a software company, launch a new offer, launch a third offer. You think about the people that have a ton of success, Sam Evans, Cole Gordon, Hormozy, almost all of them have one grand slam offer. That's it. You scale one offer. Most people are like, well, I need to have a low ticket offer and a high ticket offer so I can make more money, because not everybody can afford my high ticket and not everybody wants to be a part of my low ticket, And so like they launch like 3 different offers that are all mediocre. We're just having one offer. They scale to millions a year, like multiple millions a year. I'm trying to scale ours to 8 figures a year with just one simple offer. So anyways, that's it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Thanks for watching the first podcast, Value Creator Podcast. Find us at Value Creator on IG. Click link down below. You'll see some clips there. Follow us there. And we'll see you guys once a week.
Sweet. Peace.